Combines that were so tough they could finish a harvest even when half their gears failed. Straw walkers that worked with unbelievable efficiency. But what made these old machines push beyond their limits in ways modern combines never could? Let's find out. Number 6. Claas Columbus. Starting our countdown at number 6 is the Claas Columbus, launched in 1958. This machine became the workhorse of European agriculture for nearly 2 decades. And there's a very specific reason why farmers absolutely loved it. The Columbus featured a cutting head around 6 to 7 feet wide, powered by a reliable Perkins diesel engine. But what made it special wasn't just its cutting width or power. This combine was built like a tank. We're talking about a machine packed with gears and chains that could handle a wide range of common European crops, from wheat and barley to oats, making it incredibly versatile for farmers of the era. Here's what really surprises people about this machine. While other manufacturers were racing to add complexity and fancy features, Claas went the opposite direction. They focused on simplicity and robust construction. The result? Farmers could maintain and repair the Columbus without needing specialized engineers or expensive parts. This philosophy of simple, reliable design made the Columbus so successful that it extended Claas's market reach across Europe through countless export models. Before we move on to number 5, if you're loving these surprising agricultural stories, do me a favor and smash that like button right now. It helps more farming enthusiasts discover these incredible machines. All right, let's keep going with number 5, and trust me, this next one is absolutely wild. Number 5, JF Denmark Wraparound Combine. In the 1950s, while everyone else was building either fully self-propelled combines or simple-toed models, JF Denmark said, "Why not both?" And that's exactly what they created. The JF Wraparound Combine was an engineering marvel that literally wrapped around the tractor. Imagine this visual. Instead of the combine being towed behind like a trailer, it actually surrounded the tractor, creating this hybrid machine that optimized power transmission and maneuverability in ways conventional designs couldn't match. This wasn't just some experimental prototype that disappeared quickly. The wraparound design required a medium-powered tractor with additional horsepower needed if a straw chopper was installed. It attracted serious attention across Europe because it solved a very real problem. Many farmers already had tractors, and buying a completely separate self-propelled combine was expensive. But they also knew that simple-toed combines had limitations in power efficiency and control. The JF Denmark Wraparound Combine offered a third option, a semi-mobile platform that maximized the tractor investment while delivering combine harvesting capabilities. The engineering approach was so distinct that it stood out dramatically from the dominant German and French designs of that era. What's truly surprising is that this hybrid alternative suited specific European farming contexts where tractor availability and power varied significantly from region to region. It was a machine that understood real-world farming economics, not just engineering textbooks. Number 4. Massey Ferguson MF 630. The Massey Ferguson MF 630, launched in 1953, was France's answer to the combine revolution happening across Europe. Now here's the surprising part. French manufacturers initially hesitated to develop combines. They weren't sure the market was ready. They weren't sure the technology would fit French farming practices. This hesitation created a vacuum, and that vacuum was filled by imports. But the MF 630 changed everything. Equipped with a Perkins diesel engine and a 5-foot cut header, this self-propelled harvester offered French farmers something they desperately needed: a powerful, practical harvesting tool designed with their specific needs in mind. The MF 630 wasn't trying to be the biggest or the most powerful. Instead, it focused on being efficient, compact, and practical for small to medium-sized farms that dominated the French countryside. This combine bridged a critical gap between early mechanized efforts and the post-war agricultural boom that was transforming Europe. While German manufacturers like Claas were building larger, more complex machines, the MF 630 represented the French approach to mechanization: practical over powerful, accessible over ambitious. And you know what? It worked brilliantly. The MF630's significance goes beyond its technical specifications. It marked the moment when France stopped being an importer of agricultural technology and became a serious player in European combine development. But before we continue, there's something about these old European combines that almost nobody talks about. World War II didn't just interrupt combine production, it nearly destroyed the entire agricultural machinery industry in Europe. Factories were bombed, materials were scarce, and skilled engineers were drafted into military service. The Claas MDB, which we'll discuss shortly, had its production halted when factories shifted to munitions manufacturing. Think about that for a moment. The very machines designed to feed nations were replaced by machines designed to destroy them. And yet somehow, when the war ended, these combined manufacturers didn't just rebuild, they innovated beyond anything that existed before the conflict. The post-war combines weren't just improved versions of pre-war designs. They represented completely new thinking about what agricultural machinery could achieve. The self-propelled revolution, the hybrid designs, the focus on efficiency and farmer accessibility, all of this emerged from the ashes of a continent that had been devastated. That's the real story behind these iconic machines. They're monuments to resilience, innovation, and the determination to never go hungry again. Number 3. Claas Hercules SF Series. The Claas Hercules, later renamed the SF Series, introduced in 1952. Post-war Europe was rebuilding frantically, and agriculture needed to modernize fast to feed recovering populations. The problem? Towed combines required tractors, and coordinating two separate pieces of equipment was inefficient. Claas solved this with one bold decision: put the engine on the combine itself. The Hercules SF was Europe's first true self-propelled combine harvester. This wasn't just adding an engine to an existing design. This was rethinking the entire concept of what a combine could be. The SF featured a 2.4-meter cutting width, a 56-horsepower Perkins diesel engine that was upgraded over time, and 4 straw walkers for efficient separation of grain from straw. But how did Claas, a company whose factories had been producing munitions just 7 years earlier, suddenly become the technological leader of European agriculture? Well, Claas didn't just rebuild. They recruited the best agricultural engineers in Europe. They studied American combine technology, but adapted it specifically for European conditions: smaller fields, different crop varieties, variable terrain. The Hercules SF wasn't an American copy. It was a European original designed by people who understood European farming intimately. The SF series was available as both a grain bagger and a tanker combine, suiting different harvesting needs across diverse farming operations. Its simple, reliable design endured through several variations and set the precedent for everything that came after. When you look at modern European combines, you're seeing the DNA of the Hercules SF in every design decision. This machine marked the beginning of Claas's absolute dominance in European combine production. More importantly, it demonstrated that Germany's post-war industrial recovery wasn't just about quantity. It was about technological innovation that would define an entire industry for generations. Number 2. Claas MDB before the MDB. European grain harvesting was brutally labor-intensive. Stationary threshing machines required manual loading, manual processing, manual bagging. Dozens of workers spent weeks doing what modern combines accomplish in hours. The MDB changed this reality forever. This was Europe's first towed combine harvester specifically designed for the region's unique harvesting conditions. Now, it wasn't self-propelled. It didn't have a grain tank. But what it did have was revolutionary. It combined mowing, threshing, and binding into one mechanized operation that could be pulled by a tractor. Between 1937 and 1943, approximately 1,400 units were produced. Then World War II arrived, and production stopped completely when factories shifted to munitions production. Think about the historical irony here. The machine designed to revolutionize food production was halted so factories could produce weapons of war. But here's what makes the MDB's story so compelling. After the war, when Claas resumed agricultural machinery production, they didn't go back to the MDB, they went forward to the self-propelled Hercules. The MDB had taught them everything they needed to know about mechanized harvesting. It was the prototype, the proof of concept, the foundation for everything that followed. The MDB's historical importance can't be overstated. It marked the exact moment when European agriculture shifted from traditional manual methods to mechanized mobile harvesting. Without the MDB, there would be no Hercules. Without the Hercules, there would be no modern Claas. Without Claas, European agriculture would look completely different today. We've reached our final combine, but before I reveal number one, quick question. Have you subscribed yet? Because if you've made it this far, you clearly love deep dives into machine history, and I've got plenty more coming your way. Number one, Claas Lexion. This machine represents the culmination of almost 60 years of continuous innovation, starting with that MDB back in 1936. When the Lexion debuted, it shocked the entire agricultural world by harvesting 40 tons of grain per hour. The Lexion featured the revolutionary APS hybrid threshing system that combined drum and rotor components for clean, efficient threshing that previous designs couldn't match. But the real innovation went far beyond mechanical components. This was among the first European combine to fully embrace digital transformation. Onboard electronics, optimized fuel efficiency, ergonomic cabins designed using actual farmer feedback, and digital controls that made operation intuitive rather than overwhelming. But how does a company go from building towed combines in the 1930s to produce the most advanced harvesting technology on the planet just 60 years later? Well, every Claas combine built on the lessons of every previous model. The MDB taught mobile mechanization. The Hercules proved self-propulsion worked. The Columbus demonstrated that reliability matters more than complexity. The Lexion took all these lessons and added cutting-edge technology that made farming not just productive, but precise. The joint venture with Caterpillar in the late 1990s extended the Lexion's reach to North America with production and branding collaborations that made it a truly global machine. Today's farmers operating Lexions are using technology that traces its lineage directly back to that first MDB rolling off the production line in 1936. So which of these vintage combines surprised you the most? Drop your answer in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into combine history, make sure you hit that subscribe button. We've got more stories coming your way.